and the organization was also very good.
We try.
Oh, this one day,
we just try a bit.
This new NDC, the guesswork power. Solomon OWUSU is with a movement for change.
It's a movement.
Alliance for
revolutionary change.
Fantastic. Good morning.
It's a movement.
It's a movement, and we are moving.
You are moving. Everywhere is moving.
Unsurprisingly, you are getting a lot of support, especially on Pan-African television. People are saying they want to join the movement.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing for the country. It's a good thing.
When are you starting your campaign?
No, first week in August we are starting.
Okay.
We are starting. It's going to be non-stop. We would end, and we will see what happens in this country. You understand?
Yeah. There's this perception that you want to stay in Ashanti region.
No. We are
no, I mean, yes, you are going to campaign across the 16 regions, but your primary focus is on Ashanti region.
Ashanti region is our stronghold, let me tell you. I've set time with that number, and that is the more reason why the MPP settled on Napo, just to try and then win back some of the souls. But unfortunately, his own utterances and his persona is even giving more people away. There are more people joining us before, after his nomination as the running mate, and so we are very happy with it. Ashanti is for the movement. There's no doubt about that.
Strangely, yesterday I was watching a repeat of Ahmed's interview with Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo,
yes,
where he prophesied that the party was going to choose Baumia.
Yes.
And that after after choosing Baumia would choose an Ashanti as a running mate.
Yes.
And yesterday my attention was drawn to it by Mr. Pratt. I'm told there's this interview with Nyaho Tamaklo by Ama Pratt,
yes,
and all these things were reviewed. And
exactly.
Unfortunately, we didn't avert our minds to it, but yesterday was very telling how the party has strategized going into this election.
He also predicted a loss for MPP.
Oh, precisely. So I mean, once the first two prophecies have come to pass, then you have no reason to doubt at all. So a special good morning to Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. I'm told you really love Pan-African television and you always watch us. Good morning to you, sir. And also to the very many silent viewers who are watching us. I know that there are a lot of old folks who love Pan-African television. A special good morning to you. And to Uncle Atu Ahoy, I do know that sometimes you watch us. Good morning to you. I trust you are well. And I wish you nothing but good health, and more strategy. Yeah. So look, let's go to America. America. the reason being that it has some yesterday it was my brother-in-law who drew my attention to the fact that Joe Biden has decided not to contest, and I was not surprised, but I didn't think that it was going to come so soon. Although, I had seen videos of him not being able to recognize his own spouse. And that raised a lot of concerns for me. He has stepped down, has nominated his vice president to lead the fight. Others have said that, look, Kamala Harris is a very bad candidate, and that if they want to win the election, they must look beyond the peripheries of, the presidency and go for somebody who has the wherewithal, who has the heart and the soul of the people, and who will be able to beat Donald Trump. Bear in mind that Donald Trump's ratings have gone up, particularly because of the assassination attempt on his life, and that has given him, some margins ahead of even Biden himself. And so, if you're going to pick somebody to lead the charge, then you might as well pick somebody who really appeal to the masses in America. So what do you have to say in respect of that? Others have also said, really, that this is a mark of, somebody who understands the tenets of democracy, that even though he could have decided to continue, for the purposes of ensuring that there's some serene lake of tranquility in the dying embers of his administration, he would want to step down and allow the system to operate freely. Because he himself has said that he wants to concentrate on the last days of his tenure in office. What do you have to say?
Good morning to you, your cherished viewers, and my co-panelists. Let me say that, first of all, I doubt whether or not the letter itself was written by Biden. This is someone who recently referred to Trump as the Vice President of the United States of America. I mean, and in the days leading to this so-called letter, he himself has said, together with his inner circle, that he felt betrayed by the Democratic Party, that they wanted to give him in this time that he needed their support, they were pushing him out. He was so confident that he had what it takes to beat Trump. So to do a 360 degrees turnaround and say that 180, 180, he will be back another 180 degrees, and say that he was leaving the scene. I mean, causes some sort of doubt in this world, especially after opting out of the race, also choosing who becomes a successor. Since when? It's supposed to be a democratic party where the party itself will choose who will lead them after you exiting. So this is a whole arranged sort of letter just to push Kamala into the frame. But you see, really, if you look at the Democratic Party, I don't see at this material time who has what it takes to even rival Trump. Trump is winning and winning bigly. Not just winning, he's going to win by a lot. Because beyond the assassination attempt that you spoke of, all the critical indicators in the US, Trump did far better than what they are doing today. You see, during Trump's time, inflation, he ended it at 1.2%. That was Trump's record. Now, currently inflation in the US is almost 3.3%. Now, when you go to, now he ended it at 0.5%, not 1.2. But when you go to the Fed rate, the policy rate, Trump ended it at 0.5%, and currently the US is doing 4.5%. It is the reason why those of us in sub-Saharan Africa are suffering. The policies of Biden. The moment the US raises the Fed rate by even a percentage, Africa is gone. Because investors perceive the US market as a very safe haven. So that once their interest rate is up, why must they bring their capital to unstable West Africa or Africa? So all of them shift their capital to the US and deny us that necessary investment. Again, border issues or immigration. Trump was spot on. A lot of many people in Africa and for that matter Ghana despised Trump then because they said he was too harsh on immigrants. Trump's argument was that we need people to come to the United States of America, but we want them to come in legally. I mean, as a Ghanaian, why must I be interested in people entering into this country illegally? Does it make sense that you will smuggle yourself to the United States of America and go and live there illegally? That would be a national security threat. So I was all for it. Because even in your own house, don't you have a wall around it? Do you want to allow everyone to enter into at any given time? No, there must be some regulation.
Sometimes when we press a bell, we don't.
Exactly. And that was Trump's position.
Yeah.
But the Democrats played on the emotions of black African Americans and then people of African descent to say, oh, he doesn't want to in. When in fact, Obama himself, when he was the president, led in the mass deportation of Africans.
True.
Remember, Obama was the one that led the killing of Muammar Gaddafi.
True.
So what are we talking about? Look, when Trump was in power, he never engaged in, yes,
yeah.
And that was why world market price of oil was that stable.
Unnecessary war.
Unnecessary. He said, identify and terminate. If you were warring the US, if it was you, KWAME, DANSO, they will come after you, finish you, and the country moves on. He signed the Abraham Accord in the Middle East. That you were all brothers. He said, this is a man that they say is crazy, but he was doing something right. And the world was so stable. So if you look at this government, they always attribute their success from 2017 to 2020. You ask yourself, 2017 to 2020, who was the president of the United States of America? Was it not Trump? And it was because Trump was doing something right there, it had a rippling effect on the Ghanaian economy. So beyond the rhetoric, beyond the fact that America did not help the world by bringing Biden, it is time for Trump to come back. It will be a massive win, and I don't see why Kamala will pose any challenge. Or she herself, the last Democratic primary, she had 0 or something. She didn't even come the last 2. She was just out of it. And so they must. She withdrew because she was going to get 0 anyway. And Trump has a good record against female candidates. Remember what he did to what's the name? Hillary Clinton. So if you are going to present Kamala, it will be the same old story. They must.
All right, Alex, let me come to you.
Once again,
good morning.
Can I first of all say good morning to Rahman? It's my boy who brought this from Tamale for me. So I'm duly dressed accordingly.
We are going to stage a demonstration, a massive demonstration, more than Kumi Prep.
I've already written my petition to send to Rahman. That this discriminatory tendency of Rahman will be curtailed.
It won't be countenanced at all.
Yes.
I would have led the demonstration. Yeah, that's my grandpa.
All right. Anyway, first point. Secondly, I think that what is happening in America strengthens democracy. Late as it came in the day, it demonstrates that mass people power always prevails, because the kind of pressure that Democrats themselves brought to bear against a president who felt, no, I should still stay. In the end, the penny dropped. That, look, I'm doing a disservice to my nation and to my party, so I would step down. I think that people should give him another piece of credit. You see, he didn't play politics with it, as my brother Solo may think. If he really wanted to be hard political, he wouldn't only have resigned as the flag bearer.
He would have resigned as
president. He would have resigned as president, and Kamala Harris will now have to be sworn in as president.
That's true.
And she will now go and contest. That is hard politics and the reality. He would have cut out or given her a real advantage, not just I'm behind her keke. The I'm behind her keke is to let people know that we are already in the process. She's been on the campaign trail, and the Democrats just want somebody new, especially their funding stream, to bring the money. If you come and start changing people midstream, you actually have a problem, because the person now has to come and start afresh and sell himself. Marketing in this game becomes important. She's already marketed. She's a vice president, and she has already been on the campaign, which has already begun. So politically, she's the best person to go. To lead them to opposition. Why do you... Yes, to the election, sorry. To the election. No. Well, I haven't ruled out or said who's going to win or lose. I'm not saying that.
Yes.
I'm saying that we have been here before. In 2012, unfortunately for us, we were there and our president died. Yeah. Our own Professor Mills.
Yes. May so rest in peace.
That year, beside some small noises, we decided that no, President Mahama, vice president, go unopposed. We didn't do, what's it called? We did a Congress, but it was not contested.
Yeah, it's more like an affirmation.
Exactly. So that is political maneuvering or maturity. Because to go and start marketing somebody fresh again. So I think that technically they had no choice. They must go with Kamala. Kamala. They have no choice if they are really serious about this election. But it is one thing to look at, You see, Kamala doesn't have, excuse me, inverted commas, the baggage of, for example, Clinton. When Clinton was coming, the Democrats had already been in power. Obama had done 8 years. So it became the 8-year itch had already come in. And she also had, excuse me, the baggage of her husband. It is now that we sing praises of Clinton looking back. But at the time, there was some baggage that she had to also carry in that campaign. So, and people were juxtaposing her also against the leadership style of Obama. And they didn't think she measured. So even her internal position made it difficult for her. Kamala Harris doesn't have that. She has very little baggage. She's also a woman. And therefore, it's a double-edged sword. For the first time, you are looking at America producing, unless I'm wrong, the first female president, if she comes. And that is actually a very strong selling point. She then also is going to take a lot of the third world votes, Hispanic, African. And yet many people, because of her actual skin tone, don't see her as a black person. They see her as a black person, but they don't see her as a black person. Are you get? Yeah, so she carries all. If it's marketed properly, she will take from both sides. And I'm just being, some people say, oh, you shouldn't talk, but I'm just being as real as I can. Yeah. Because race is a big thing in America.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. So, the rednecks you are never going to convince. When I say the rednecks, I'm talking of the diehard, what's it called, the conservatives who have the view that only white should. I saw a videotape today, and I was just sad. But anyway, of certain people talking about how they saw the world. And these are strong Trump supporters. So as a result of that, I actually think that the Democrats have now entered the race in a very big way. And I would be interested, one, to see how the whole rally to confirm or otherwise Kamala, you will notice that even with the announcement, till date, no one has come out to say, I'm going to contest. So let's wait and see. Because if nobody comes, she's going unopposed. If somebody comes, but the person is seen as weak, or they are doing it just for face, she'll win outright. And once that happens, it will be interesting then to see how their polls work. Unlike here, where I don't take any account of polls. I mean, for me, any poll that comes, I say, okay, I've heard. I don't make any decision on polls, no matter whether they are against or for. When we have a situation where people are bent on rigging and have rigged, we believe, what is the poll? What is a poll? Because people are there who are going to rig election, and you are talking about polls. So in our neck of the wood, I'm not shaken by polls. Yeah. You have to just be vigilant and count your votes. But over there, polls do count. And that's why, for example, in the British elections, even before I was able to say clearly that, look, the Conservatives are going to lose. Not because, yes, MDC is aligned to Labour, but looking at it objectively and looking at what the polls were saying, they were going to lose. But more importantly, they even lost by even a bigger margin than some of us thought was going to happen. So it was on the cards that they were going to lose. And therefore, those polls you can rely on. And therefore, to be interested to see what the polls will say a month or 6 weeks from now, once they go through a certain process. Their elections are in November. Yes. So they have less time. But I think that Kamala Harris is the best bet for the Democrats at the moment. It is not in anybody's interest. Did you see how much money arrived in their coffers the moment Biden stepped down? All their people started paying the money to their campaign funds. all the hidden money that, not hidden or withheld funds, because the people were not sure, their financiers were not sure whether, listen, and some were even paying more. And she has not even yet been voted in. So I think that it will be a very interesting race. And in some ways, I would be worried if I was in the Trump camp. Why? You see, it has diffused any benefits that he now had from the shooting. It's there, but the whole resignation in itself is a campaign. You understand what I'm saying? It has taken the limelight from the shooting that occurred. A whole president resigns because of his health, whatever, and that is it. And I also think that you shouldn't be too hard on Biden. The comparison to maybe other situations is different. Here he did it for ill health.
Absolutely.
And he said, okay, I'm listening to you people now. Enough is enough. I've pulled out. And the kind of rhetoric that Trump came out with, it's not going to help his case. The language he used on Biden and so on and so forth, it's not going to help his case. But it's typical Trump. And he believes that sells him for what he is. So let's watch this space. I'm not making a prediction of how the elections will turn out. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see.
All right. Solo says it is going to be a landslide victory for Trump. Uncle Alex disagrees, or there has been Paris Solo's opinion. But we will see how it pans out. We are not in America. We'll only observe with keen interest. Let me come to you, Dr. Marazuk, on this subject, but before we proceed to look at some internal matters here as well.
Good morning to the cherished viewers of ours. Good morning to my colleagues. Special good morning to Uncle Sampi Yale. For a very long time, we've not heard from him, particularly on this set. And permit me to commend you for choosing this topic. I think you have been unconventional.
Bless chose it.
Yes. When I say you, I'm referring to the
team. Okay, all right.
To the editorial team. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for being unconventional, productively unconventional, because we're expecting an African story, but you have chosen this, and I am happy because it contains a lot of lessons for African politicians. It is global. And it contains a lot of lessons for African politics. But before I come to those lessons, let me wholly agree with Uncle Segwefia and partially disagree with Solo. Right. So, and I will start from the disagreement.
Please.
You know, Solo, if you compare Kamala Harris, to Mrs. Clinton, that comparison will not be different from the Napos comparison. It will not be, yes, it won't be different from the post comparison. Look, Kamala Harris, as Uncle Alex has explained, does not have a lot of negative past. Look, Mrs. Clinton, you've forgotten, Trump has always described her as a co-sponsor of ISIS. Kamala Harris has been involved in sponsoring terrorists loyal to America. In fact, Trump always calls her, Hillary Clinton, I'm sorry. Yes, Hillary Clinton. You see, Clinton has been seen by Trump as a very ugly character. And her tenor has also seen a lot of evil perpetrated against so-called enemies of America. So she carries that that baggage. Kamala Harris doesn't. You talk about the sympathy vote because of the assassination attempt. Kamala counters that from three fundamental areas. One, as an African descent. Two, Hispanic. Three, female. And these areas will also generate a lot of sympathy for her. Then let's go to Clinton himself. You see, Clinton himself did not. Yeah, you have mentioned that. I mean, the fact that Clinton supervised, not Clinton.
Biden.
The fact that this man. Trump. The fact that Biden supervised a lot of, Biden's problem. I'm not for Biden. I'm neither for Biden nor for Trump.
You are neutral.
I'm neutral.
You are neutral in Ghana, neutral in US.
Just neutral in Ghana, neutral in US. But let me tell you something about Biden. I'm coming to your point that you even you doubt the authenticity
yes.
of it.
Yes.
And so the state of Biden's mentality rather confirms the authenticity of of the letter. Let me tell you this way. Medical doctors may say dementia. I'm not a medical doctor, so I'll use that term because I have no evidence. But clearly, every sensible being knows very well that Biden suffers from a huge cognitive incapacity, a huge intellectual deficiency as it is now.
Sure.
So definitely, either by old age or by sickness.
Yeah.
And such a person behaves in a very funny way. Having U-turn is part of the characteristics of that person. So if he said one thing just yesterday and he's saying another thing just today, that tells you how mentally imbalanced he is. So that rather confirms, his state of mental health rather confirms the authenticity of that letter.
And then, doctor, maybe he will come back and say he's not resigning.
Yes. No, even if he does that, yes, let him do that. Let him do that, and then people will let him know that it was written. You understand that? It is not only uttered; it is also written. And even though you have
don't you think that it's also dependent on when he is alleged or purported to have written that letter? If he was not in his lucid moment, and then somebody drafted it on his behalf.
Yes. That is what
I'm just saying.
I think you have to all be careful. No president, sits down, writes a letter, and then reads. Somebody has vetted it.
Exactly.
Everybody.
That is right.
You even read the draft, and then you do the amendments to the draft.
Exactly.
And you sign. So everybody, even ministers of state, whatever, they will do the draft. Some people will write, but a good person will always make sure somebody reads it.
I agree.
And takes out a line. So, but the moment you append your signature to it, it's yours.
I agree.
That's what the point I'm writing.
That signature came from. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't sign.
A day to that letter.
Who didn't know that?
CNN reported that the Obamas were.
I mean, it's just about.
He has not spoken.
No, he's not spoken. It's just a and you see, the funniest thing is that even this one was issued on his social media platform. That is why that's what I'm saying. If he cannot appreciate the nature and consequences of his actions, then it begs the question as to whether or not he in fact is the author of that letter. But I mean, let's proceed. It's a little bit murky, but
so you see, I have been vindicated. Authenticity or no authenticity, everything is traceable to his mental health. And that is why. I mean, if you argue otherwise, I won't be surprised, because the man has an unstable mental health. You understand that? And that is why because I was expecting you to raise that. And when you raise that, it tells me that, well, if you think that he is not the person who wrote it, then my argument is that he is the person who wrote it because he changes his mind. And Uncle comes in to say that maybe tomorrow he will come and change his mind. No, they will not allow him. Because if he wanted to change it, right, since yesterday, he would have changed it today. But let's wait. Yeah, I never said that. It's
and he spoke to it.
The man
He has
at the
spoken.
moment they claim is having COVID.
Yes.
And is on what is called confinement. So at what point did he even go through this very letter? And it's unconventional. Very
unconventional, yes.
When they issue such a magnitude of a letter, they will come and address the nation. But the man is deferring that address to next week or so.
Exactly. So that tells you how
that tells you insider training.
So every US person who is of stable mind does that. This man is not of stable mind.
That's what
so he can be unconventional.
He's not well.
He's not well. You know, but
the man says he's well. Who am I to say he's not well?
He says he's got COVID.
But the man
says he's fit.
And the man
he had what it takes to beat Trump every day.
And the man calls Trump president of
Hallelujah. If they saw this and they gave the word this candidate.
So I'm telling you, if he says he's well, and then you, because he says he's well, you trust him, you cannot say he's unwell.
Yes.
Now he calls Trump president of Ukraine. Will you also call Trump president of Ukraine?
Yes, you. That is all about having the Democrats
just now. No, please. Just now, as we were sitting this today, you wanted to talk about Biden, and you were talking about Clinton. It happens. So the man is well. You as you are sitting here, you're not well today.
The man is well. The man is full of it.
No, you understand? No. We all know that there's a problem.
Yes.
But that's not happening.
Uncle,
all I'm saying is that it's been done.
Yes.
And I'm not worried about the authenticity or not. I'm convinced. Now it's starting to be correct.
I mean,
that he has resigned.
Even by that,
But the resignation must be put to strict proof.
Yes, that's what
And that is why I'm raising these questions.
It's very important.
Whether or not he appreciated the depth of the decision that he has taken, or he took the decision by reason of some duress that he may have suffered. Yes, in the hands of.
Do you know how many people have, in his statement, he put his weight behind Kamala?
And that is what
other leaders have put their weight behind Kamala. And you are so, as far as you are sitting here, you see some grand conspiracy.
How do we even know that it was not Kamala who wrote the letter?
That is the point we're talking about.
Proceed.
Ghanaians, you are all good.
You see, when you appreciate U.S. politics, within the context of your corrosive politics, you see things that way.
This one.
Have you seen this series, House of Cards? Have you watched it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, please, you should.
Yeah.
If you watch House of Cards, this thing will not be new to you.
Absolutely.
This scheme.
It's a movie.
No,
we learned our politics from them.
It's drama.
Okay, so you are saying this now.
So what the man doing here? We learned it from them. My argument, in simple language, is that we all doubt the authenticity of, some of us doubt the authenticity of the letter because of the state of the mind of the man. That is my argument.
Yes.
So if you want to say that he hasn't written it because some people have, because he makes U-turn,
yes,
then the other side of the argument is that he has written it because he makes U-turn.
Okay.
That's the argument here. Okay, number two, you see, I think we have all established how Kamala Harris and Trump will play out.
Yes.
When it comes to sympathy vote, Kamala also carries a lot of sympathy from multiple fronts.
Sympathy vote?
Oh, she's a female.
Really?
Yes, a woman.
That
is a source of sympathy.
But Clinton, Hillary was a woman.
No, but I'm telling you,
but the baggage of Biden will be heaped on Kamala.
No.
It's a ticket. Why do you think they're taking on
vice president?
No, there is one arguing that
vice president is not like Baumia.
No, you see where we are going.
Let me proceed.
Yes.
Let's allow
Not to proceed. Don't proceed. How are you talking?
Today, these people. That's what I'm saying. That don't compare Clinton to
Kamala.
Yes, Hillary Clinton to Kamala. If you do that, it will not be different from Napo's comparison, which has rocked the country. You understand? You see,
all right.
So, no, I haven't finished.
Proceed the conclusion because we have other issues that.
No, but you allow them to.
I know.
We interrupted.
I'll give you part of my time.
Sure. So those other issues should stay.
Yes.
Is it? So, okay, let's come to the importance of this to African politics. In fact, very, very important. One, it emphasizes the need for respect for public opinion. In fact, if it turns out to be true, because you are suspecting that you are questioning the authenticity of it, if it becomes true, then Biden should be hailed instead of his misbehavior in Gaza, instead of his sponsorship of genocide in Gaza. He should be hailed. He should be hailed as a man who has taken a decision in the interest of party and country, because that tells us how he listens to public opinion. His own party members have talked to him. Everybody is questioning his ability to lead, and he has listened. If it comes out to be true, then Biden again is sending another lesson to African politicians, not to hold on to power at all costs. That is a very good lesson African politicians must learn. It is not the case that because he has just spent one term and he had the opportunity to spend another term, now there is pressure. Whether he has written the letter or not, as it is now, no one has come to deny it from his family or from the presidency, not even himself. So the assumption is that that letter is authentic and that letter is going to work. Kamala Harris will be given the opportunity to lead the party. When it happens that way, it tells African politicians to stop that mentality of perpetual stay in power. And another very good lesson. Then the last one is unifying the party. So I'm telling you, maybe your argument for the Republicans to win the election will be that the Democrats are sharply divided. They are hugely divided, the Democrats. Very hugely divided. And that could be a kind of advantage for the Republicans to win. Now, if the decision is allowed to be functional, what we are witnessing, if it becomes functional, it stands to unite the Democratic Party. And that will be a huge advantage. As for who wins or which political party wins, it's a matter of the future. And when the time comes, we will all celebrate or mourn. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Marzouk. So I have in my hands a book written by Dr. E.G.A. Don Arthur. And the book is called Ghana's Historic Journey to Self-Government and Independence, Volume 1. Listen, we have only about 50 copies at the front desk of Pan-African Television here in Abilimpe, Accra. And I do know that there are people who want to understand the history of Ghana, where we have come from and where we are headed. And I actually do love a quote in this book that says, to understand where we are going, we must confront the past. And indeed, if you are interested in understanding and appreciating Ghana's journey to independence, you should grab a copy of this book and you should read it and appreciate the fact that we have people who really understand the history of Ghana and they are willing to share. I'm going to show it. It's so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. This is it. We have 50 copies left, and a copy goes for 1,500 Ghana cedis. 1,500 Ghana cedis. I'm going to auction one. So this one will be bought by Mr. Solomon OWUSU. I'll give you this copy for 1,500 Ghana cedis.
Wake it up every morning I will take it freely.
No. This is not for Pan-African television. It doesn't belong to us.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just auctioning it.
All right.
Live on TV.
Fantastic.
Now I need 10 people to send me a message that they are interested in one, and then we will get them.
You can get 50 people to buy.
Yeah, we can get 50 people to buy.
At least 47. But I will take one.
Yeah. Yes, Dr. Mazuk and Uncle Alex will take one each. So this is it, please. So this is your copy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Now.
I will also come.
Yes.
All of them autographed.
Yes. So yes, 50 copies. Solo has taken one, 49 left. Uncle Alex will take another one. Dr. Mazuk. So my mathematics is terrible. 47 left.
Yes.
All right.
Your mathematics is not Jim Mensah, it's mathematics.
Mine is better than Jim Mensah. Mine is better than Jim Mensah.
Promising you a free affair.
So going forward, this is going to be our Bible, because I also buy one.
Yes.
Means I can't chop watch it for about 2 months.
Alex.
I'm going to get it.
Alex will make opposition so scary. Alex, Jim Mensah is promising free and fair election. Yeah, she's promising. But there's a particular story. I think it's in Daily Guide. I don't usually like to review Daily Guide, but this one is a story that was attributed to Mr. Kishel Atuforsen, who I think raised this matter on the floor of Parliament, where he indicated that credible elections or coup, and that's how they have decided to couch the heading. He said credible elections or coup, Atuforsen. But if you read the body, Atuforsen is only sounding the trumpets of caution to Electoral Commission that they must conduct themselves in a manner that will continue to give people confidence that these elections will be devoid of any machinations and that we're going to have a free and fair election. And he points out, one significant issue which we are all bedeviled with, an issue where people have lost confidence and hope in this particular administration. And that he asserts that if we are not careful and if we don't conduct ourselves in a civil manner, in a more democratic manner, then our democracy hangs in the balance. Indeed, he further argues that the Electoral Commission, in his estimation, is the only institution that, in his estimation, is clothed with that mandate to ensure that the democracy that we enjoyed from 1992 till now continues to thrive. Uncle Alex, from where you sit, knowing what you know, given the fact that in recent times, right, the NDC has been very eagle vigilant on the EC and ensuring that the EC conducts itself well. Because if you recall, there were some biometric machines that were missing. The argument was that it had no data on it. Later, it turns out that there was, in fact, data on it. Now, subsequent to that, you remember that we recently held or conducted this voter registration exercise. The EC gave different figures, NDC put them to street proof, and it turns out that the figures which were put out by the NDC is an accurate representation of the people who actually went out to register. So this is telling of all the obfuscations that are deliberately being created to, first of all, in my estimation, test the waters to see whether or not some people or whether or not the parties who are involved in this particular election are vigilant and will ensure that, they conduct themselves for the purposes of bringing about fair elections. What do you have to say in respect? And I want us to be as candid as we can, without mincing words, and as candid as we can by explaining the reality to the Ghanaian people. Please, Uncle, let's start for me. And I'll come to Dr. Mazuk.
Well, let me start by saying that I want to be clear that I haven't heard what Atuforsen said. But I know of many commentators who have indicated that Ghana should be careful because we are not far from an upheaval. Mm-hmm. Now, an upheaval can take many forms. There's been an upheaval in Kenya. Kenya is an upheaval. Yes. The president has dissolved more or less his cabinet because of the incidents that happened there. That is an upheaval. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a coup d'etat, even though that's another form of an upheaval. So I want to be clear what words he used that made people believe that he had said coup.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I agree with everything he said. So
Yes.
let's just proceed on that one.
Okay.
Because to be honest, if it is so apparent, it's so clear that one party has won the elections, and then you try to subvert the will of the people by announcing a different result, what do you think will happen? So I think that on this particular occasion, I agree with
I prefer the term upheaval. Upheavals.
And in fact, he
We have
didn't
seen
mention
the
coup.
Egypt.
He said that, respectfully, if
the
I may,
Arab Springs,
quote. And if we are not careful, and where the country is at the moment, and if election is not conducted in a credible manner, we may end up losing the 1992 Constitution. He stressed. We may end up losing the 1992 Constitution.
Yeah.
And we can lose the 1992 Constitution.
In many ways.
So...
So that's why I'm saying that for them to immediately say coup, it's not that is a journalist playing his games. And I'm very careful with words.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe he used that word.
No, he didn't.
So let me start by saying that, look,
All right.
the EC is his own enemy. Look, I can go with you to Tesano Sports Club before we are all sitting in the studio. Yeah. Oh, I can swim. I'll give you good strokes or whatever. When I put you in the water, you are drowning, I have to come and pull you out. We come back the next week. Oh, me, I can swim, or you didn't see me. Then I put you in the water. You are drowning again. I have to come and pull you out. Your words will mean nothing. Your words. Till the day that you enter, and when you are going, we see you with inflators. We see that you are wearing proper swimming trunks. Then we know that you are taking steps to ensure that you can swim, or at least stay afloat. I hope I'm making some sense.
Yeah.
You see, we are tired of the rhetoric. What are your actions? What are the actions of the EC? It started off with how the EC chairlady even came. That was her first baggage. Because the Charlotte issue was a debacle. Anybody can say what they like. And they added, before you know it, the whole three most important people at the EC were gone. That alone was an issue. But the main one was the Charlotte the EC commissioner itself. So when you are now picked and your antecedents don't help you, straight away you are seen as potentially having a bias. Yeah. It is for you to demonstrate clearly that I don't. Then you go into all these issues of we need a new register, we are going to do new registration, and the facts don't fund it, back it. You want to get new machines, all kinds of things. We fought you all. We told you that you must do a constitutional review. We did a whole package of things that must be changed. Yeah. Nothing. If you pick and choose, you say you change this one or whatever, there were 34 recommendations from the NDC. You even fought us and tried to change the understanding, the composition of IPAC. We only just returned because of our boycott, based on the fact that it became a rubber stamping issue. So you have created all these problems that have led us to have a total disbelief. The crowning glory is that as a national institute with Right to Information Act in place, up to today, we don't know how we had 6 separate results for the election that we went for. We don't. And in the first time, you gave a result and you came and changed it. And then you added another 4 or 5 changes on your website. And when you were called to court, the court conveniently said that you don't have to give any explanation. Okay. But it leaves a very bitter taste and a big level of suspicion on you. Then you ask yourself, you know that you are not in charge of registering people on Ghana card. It's not your job. Your job is to bring a system whereby Ghanaians are not disenfranchised. And you want to bring a law, an ally, that will allow only only people with Ghana card to register. And you know that the National Identification Authority have not been able to give everybody Ghana card. And you are going on their promise. When the history tells you that they have never been able to meet their promise, but you want to go on a promise that you are not in charge of to bring a law that is going to disenfranchise people. We had to fight you and fight you and fight you. You, EC. Then you took it back. You didn't stop there. You then decided that indelible ink. We will go to election without indelible ink. Now we started fighting again. You didn't stop there. You haven't brought out your timetable, but you want to change the date when we are going to vote. And this was tried before. If you know you want to do it then. You have waited less than a year or coming to a year to the election. You have decided that you are going to change dates. Now,
she doesn't have the
my brother, all these things I have said are real. You want people who to bring only Ghana card. As we speak, even Ghanaians cannot say that all of them, as we speak, 4 months to an election, have got Ghana card. So it had to be scrapped. But it was a battle. You then decided you were going to change the time of voting. Not you finish at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Listen. And we told you that all these changes in the year of election will raise suspicion, whether it's good or it's bad. So you don't do it election year. The moment election finish, bring it. And then people will look at it objectively. And we can pass it. Don't touch it. Chinchina, indelible ink. You are saying that because people have got machine and they will do a biometric, if your name is not in the machine, you can't vote. So that is the check. So there's no need for indelible ink anymore. Hello? And your machines are lost with data on it, and you can't find them, and you can't tell us where they are lost, and we should rely on this. And up to today, you haven't given us an explanation as to what checks, balances, and what has happened to those particular machines. Omani Boma asked how many questions? I think 40 something or something like that. And there's no response. There's no response. So for us, it is not us saying the record of the EC is their nemesis, not a political party. I've tabulated. Then that same EC's deputy says that the biggest threat to NDC's democracy is a political party that has the largest minority in the country, who has ruled the country before. We are the biggest threat. And you are a referee, and you are sitting there. And then they appoint people who have been hard-card-bearing members of the MPP into the EC. And when we talk, the Council of Elders say, oh, we have no power to do anything. This is the way, it's okay, it's done. And you think that we should have confidence in a statement, Keke, there will be free and fair elections. Look, we are Azuma. We are going in with our own referee. The Azuma says that we give you knockout so that nobody will say that on points you have got, you have lost or whatever. He knows where his referee is. He took his 2 gloves and he went into the ring and he made sure that most people who enter that ring in him, they must hit the ground. Nobody can steal it from him. So we are going to, look, Ghanaians want to vote for us. They just say, make sure you count the votes and let it matter.
But this thing that you've brought to the fore, I think is instructive for us to expand the conversation on. You spoke about even the time that the EC says it's going to allow for people to vote.
Yes.
I think the Constitution is quite clear that all persons who are of voting age must be allowed to exercise their constitutional right, which is to right to vote. Now, if you, the EC, who is also a creation or a creature of the Constitution, is seeking to prevent people from exercising that right, are you not breaching the Constitution? Are you not violating the Constitution? Are you not raping the Constitution?
I wouldn't go that far because they are not saying you can't vote. They are saying that you used to be able to vote 9 to 5 or 8 to 7 to 5 in the evening. Now they want to make it 7 to 3. And we said that That 2 hours you are taking off.
But that's the point I'm making.
Yes.
Because that 2
that's
hours...
not a constitutional right, too. It's a convention in an ally.
No, Uncle Alex, hold on.
Yes.
Conventions are designed...
It's an ally.
Whatever, LI, or that's a legislative instrument.
Yes.
They are designed to respond to the needs of the people.
Yes.
And the reason why the LI was passed and a determination made that it should start from 7 to 5 was because several considerations were considered.
And they had a very narrow consideration.
Yeah, so
that is why we told them that it cannot. It's wrong.
But even the thought of it, are you getting my point?
But that's why we are saying that it's a part of education.
I am saying that the EC should not have even contemplated for a political party to oppose that before.
I agree with you on that.
Because if you are seeking to allow for people to exercise their franchise, then you should at all material times even make it more flexible. So that everybody can get, you can even say, okay, let's do 2 days. Who cares? You get the point I'm making. So that you don't further compound.
We care. Once you enter into nighttime, we care.
Boy, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Let us be clear. You see, this is why I'm saying, let's be, on that particular point, I'm careful in my mind. It was wrong. 1, because of the way they tried to bring it. And 2, because they were only looking at a certain narrow factor. The narrow factor is, okay, normally if we have 700 people voting at a station, we reduce it to 5. So in the shorter space, those 5 can vote. But I didn't take into account that many people are fishermen, many people have work on that day. And therefore, they are all not coming at the same time.
Precisely.
They have to go
either
to work and come and vote.
Precisely.
So if you don't take that into account, you disenfranchise.
Precisely.
That's the reason why we said no.
But that is the point I'm also trying to establish.
Where it is. So I want us to understand the basis of their decision and the reason why we are all saying that it was wrong.
So what has become of it?
It's still the 7 to 5.
Okay.
It stays.
So that makes me happy.
So that when we fought it, the time and the dates and the indelible link were all considered.
Dr. Mazuk, this particular electoral commission makes OWUSU's decisions. And in my view, when you are making a decision for the purposes of further strengthening the levels of democracy, you must take several factors into consideration before you even decide to make that decision. And you must not conduct in a manner that will leave doubt in the minds of people that you are seeking to rig the elections in favor of a particular political party. Bear in mind that the democracy that we have enjoyed from 1992 till now is as a result of different institutions all working together conglomeratively to give us that democracy that we have been enjoying. But it does appear that, in recent times, this particular electoral commission is conducting itself, which is in a manner that's at variance with what we stand for as Ghanaians.
Well, that is your opinion.
Yeah.
That may also be in line with the opinions of so many people. But before I even come there, let me say that that has always been my position, that elections constitute the soul of multi-party democracy.
Precisely.
And the oxygen that nourishes that soul is the Electoral Commission. That is why every Electoral Commission should be fair and credible. I also want to put it clear here that I am against any form of upheaval in any democratic dispensation. Civil strife, civil unrest, coup, revolution, and any other form of upheaval. But I am more opposed to the factors that justify. I'm more opposed. You say you will be hypocritical if you are only opposed to the issue and not the factors of the issue. It will be very hypocritical, unless of course you are just interested in raising the issue and not contributing to the solution to the issue. So I am much more opposed. Mine is very clear. All kinds of dictatorship should be avoided. Constitutional dictatorship or military dictatorship. Let's make sure that we do not come there. As for what the gentleman has, the minority leader, to be frank with you, I am not happy that he has said it. Not because he is wrong, but because of the position he occupies. You know, when he says that, definitely people will spin doctors will find advantage. But who doesn't know in this country, who doesn't know that when the elections are not properly conducted, there will be chaos? Who doesn't know? It is it's common sense, it's common knowledge. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. If you try to use statistical gymnastics to subvert the will of the people, there will be chaos. Who doesn't know that? Everybody knows. But perhaps, maybe the way he says, let me also join you, I didn't hear what he said. It has just been reported. But even those who have reported it have a particular editorial agenda. And that can influence the manner of reportage. So I cannot at all form any argument based on this report. But all I am saying is that in general terms, an opposition leader should be very cautious in his diction, especially when he wants to make any pronouncement in relation to the stability or instability of the country. He should be very cautious. Two, let me also say that yes, the Electoral Commission has done his best, but one of the problems confronting the Electoral Commission, Madam Jim Mensah, I know you are a mother, please forgive me, is the posturing of the Electoral Commissioner. The Electoral Commissioner carries herself in a manner that gives credence to public opinion that it is in to favor a particular political party. You know, recently, a prominent cleric, an Islamic scholar, was compelled to, in public, to tell the Electoral Commissioner to listen to people. As for opposition in opposition to the Electoral Commission is the norm of the country's politics. Everybody in opposition is in opposition to the Electoral Commissioner. Uncle is here, and the uncle has elaborated why they are opposed to some of the posturings of the Electoral Commission. When Uncle's party comes to power, they will be the same people to defend the Electoral Commission. That is the reality of Ghanaian politics. But that should not be the case. It should be, the case should be that every Ghanaian, whether in government or in opposition, should be concerned about the credibility of the elections. Because the elections will give us two fundamental values of democratic dispensation: inclusion and participation. So it doesn't matter where you belong. If you are a member of government or a member of the opposition, you should be concerned about the credibility, the impartiality of the Electoral Commission. That is not the case. It's part of our politics. So when NDC talk, I mean, when I say NDC, members of NDC, when they talk about the opposition, about the Electoral Commission, one, it is two, it is also partisan. And when NPP members also praise the Electoral Commission, it is the same case, partisan and perhaps true. We are calling for a situation where every Ghanaian will see the need to rise against anything that will compromise the electoral credibility of this country. Let me end by appealing to government, because Electoral Commission is not in isolation. One, it has been appointed, members of the Electoral Commission have been appointed by government. Let this government learn a lot and avoid any means to manipulate the Electoral Commission itself. One, the appointment to the Electoral Commission. You know, we were here. When you appointed card-bearing members of the ruling party to the Electoral Commission, everybody, civil society, everybody opposed it, yet it came to pass. Nothing has happened. I think government should also position itself in a manner that will not justify its manipulation or perceived manipulation of the Electoral Commission. And let all Ghanaians rise against anything that will compromise the electoral credibility of this country. In the end, let us all agree that the Electoral Commission's work is a collective responsibility. It has its operational autonomy, but we also have the right to comment on how it works in the supreme interest of Ghana.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Marzouk. You're still watching the News Power Review segment here on Pan-African Television. May I remind you again that you can share your views with us via WhatsApp number, which will be projected on the screens right now. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. So for those of you who are on Facebook or on YouTube, you can also leave your comments there. I'll read it. I've seen a number of the messages here. I've seen some WhatsApp messages as well. Let me just read a number of them and then I'll come to you solo on this matter. Good morning to you, KOD. Early this morning of July, I saw some EC officials set up their machines behind Ogwa Hall UCC. So I went to ask one of them what they were doing there. And he said they are still doing voters transfer for UCC students. I was surprised because I thought registration and transfer had ended. Isaac from Cape Coast North constituency. This one is also from Honorable Ajuk Amagana Daniel from Bilsa North constituency, Zaring Bilsa electoral area. In fact, MPP is doing well to bring the economy back to normal soon, please. EC chairperson is doing well to ensure that there's free and fair elections. Thank you very much, sir, for your message this morning. This one also says, where is it? Hey, this one is an essay. I can't read it respectfully. KOD, good morning. My boss is one of your panelists this morning, Honorable AP Sebefia. I haven't been around for a while. With all due respect, tell him his friend, the late Kabile's son, want to get in touch with him. Good morning. Good morning to you, Jack Moro Umar. I'm sure maybe you know him. Yeah? Okay.
We have a lot of children.
KOD, good morning to you.
Somebody's listening is used to contest Capella.
That's democracy.
Because they know they say they're not coming from Biden.
KOD, good morning to you and your panel members. The former finance minister approved $34.9 million for ambulance spare parts 5 days before he left office. That will Mr. OWUSU and his party will do if they are voted for. Pan-African Television #1 from James in Kumasi. Thank you. He said, what will you do when you are voted into office? Okay. It is very shameful for the president to do what he does. It is time for us to make serious changes in our constitution. We can only have an independent, credible EC if not appointed by the president, but through application and vetting by both parties in order to ascertain the independence of the EC. I agree with you. Something must definitely do happen.
But you agree with him, but remove both and add all. All parties.
The government is perpetuating chaos unprecedented in this country. Every past government is embroiled in one scandal or another. Bar Professor Mills. Never have we seen an organized cabal determined on state capture on all fronts, therefore leaving the citizens poor. Senna Mensah sent in this one. Good morning to you, KOD. Did Mensah think that does she think that we will trust? Okay. What she said. The NDC is going to the election with our own refs, as JDM said. Ilyasu from Tamale Central constituency. This one is from Kabila Antibiok. Good morning to you, Pan-African TV. You guys are doing very well for bringing good panelists on your show. My greetings to Mr. Solomon. I'm still waiting for him to come to Bolsa North constituency for campaign for Alan. Anyway, tell Mr. Solomon to buy me a copy of the book. I need one. But lawyer, the economy is not favoring us to acquire knowledge. Kabila Antibiok sent in this one. Movement
Where's the yellow?
Where's the yellow? This is our yellow.
Why did eye problem? We are like him like by this.
Why did the second deputy speaker allow Bosman Asari to answer the questions about his comments about the NDC in the past? This is very shameful. Nat from Lungwa sent in this one. And several of them. This one says, please, I need Mr. Sebefia's number seriously. Okay, on Facebook, Suginom staff says, good morning. Good morning to you. Sadat Prince Jaden says, good morning, Pan-African Television. Johnny Kujo says, good morning, KOD. To be honest with you, if US Democrats make a mistake and pick Kamala Harris as their candidate, they will lose to Trump. Pan-African Television, my message goes to the former President Mahama. He should work on his spiritual life for the sake of this year's elections. In 2020, the elections was his, but he lost it in the spiritual realm. The NPP flag bearer is far ahead of him in the spiritual realm. What happens in the spiritual realm manifests in the world. Ghanaians are ready to vote for him, but he has to prepare himself well. A word to the wise is enough. This one is from Same Zameku. Edward Duboda, the price for that book is more than the average Ghanaian salary. Mr. KOD, some of us do not trust the EC at all. To some of us, the EC has already finished preparing grounds for MPP to steal the election. You see, when you talk like this, it gets me very unsettled. When you say the EC has already, the EC has already. I mean, it's like you are succumbing to injury. You understand? No, you don't. When I read these things, I get a little frightened. You know, because for a young Ghanaian who is supposed to protect your democracy, to say that the EC has already, doesn't mean that you've given up. Doesn't mean that you think that it is right for the EC to already do something. No, please. I don't like reading such messages.
Or you cannot behave like a Kenyan.
Yeah, or you cannot behave like a Kenyan. You know, and most instructively, I think Dr. Maruzuk has drawn my attention to that. Look, and we are still on the EC matter. When we elected or nominated or selected known card-bearing members of the NPP to the EC, the NDC spoke against it.
Everybody.
But the kind of uproar that I was expecting is not what because look, to allow card-bearing members of a particular political party, i.e. the NPP, to send their people to EC was very disrespectful to the Ghanaian people and also very disrespectful to the constitution of this country. So I mean, I was expecting a lot more to happen. But again, I paused to think that maybe the reason why sometimes we don't get the kind of responses we are looking for is our over-partisan nature, you know, in this country, that we cannot even agree on one thing. Sure. That will further strengthen our democracy. We always want to find faults and, you know, blame this political party and blame that political party. And in the final analysis, the relevancy of what we are supposed to fight is lost.
Yes.
So maybe in your submission, you may want to also expand on that for us.
Before Sulu speaks,
yes,
I
please.
think that you should add to that the fact that
yes, sir.
It's not so much the lack of action by the people. Mm-hmm. You see, I use the football situation as a classic example. When the money was paid to the footballers, it wasn't that they were not entitled to it. The way and manner in which it was done, and coupled with the fact that with all that, they didn't even qualify. Had they got to finals, nobody would be talking about it. You understand?
Sure.
What is happening in Ghana is that people were comfortable. They will do this to this person, so oh, it's not us. They will do this. The moment we went to IMF and all the haircuts and things started happening, when they brought the matter to TUC recently, TUC said we are going on strike. This sale of hotels won't agree. Yeah. If this had come 2 or 3 years ago, nobody will be shouting. We will shout and it will die. But this time, TUC said no. So we have now reached a point of awareness in this country where Ghanaians are saying, enough is enough.
I agree.
That's the, so that,
I agree.
I just wanted that clarification.
I agree.
But I'm not saying, I'm agreeing with you on the point that why should they have to take to this point before we started acting? But it's the same old story. They say that when they came for this person, they say, oh, it doesn't affect me. When they're going for this person, now it's all affecting all of us. Now we have all decided that we wake up. Yes. And people power has been shown twice on the hotel matter and then subsequently on the recent one that occurred.
The airline.
The airline. So if government is out, they should be awake. And EC itself should be awake.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. But I was thinking that all of these things are possible because we are enjoying democracy.
Yes. Yes.
And so, in my view, the one thing that we must jealously guard is the democracy that we're enjoying.
Exactly.
And under no circumstance should we or must we allow political elements to find their way into that space where
destroy it.
Absolutely. So that is. So I agree 100% with you. But again, let's
No, but I agree with you, and I agree with what
Uncle Alex,
Uncle Alex and everyone has said. The truth of the matter is that election is a process, not an event. For the EC boss to have gone to Parliament and assure the country that there will be free and fair election, I'm sure she was speaking to people that she thought were not in tune with what was going on. Your own registration, in fact, the voter register itself cannot be said to be free and fair. The number of people in the voter register is over-bloated. In every analysis that you put on it, it's over-bloated. It means there are ghost names, there are names that are not supposed to be in there. We are now being told that we are registered close to almost 7 million Ghanaians to vote. You have a population of about 34 million. Mind you, those that are qualified to vote are from 18 and above and of sound mind. In this country, we have madmen, meaning some of them would not even register. Every day in and day out, we are burying people. People are dying. But interestingly, as it is now, from the last registration of 2020 to date, we have added close to 1.8 million Ghanaians to go and vote. Now, the next time we come here, we will do constituency by constituency analysis and prove to you why the voter register is over-bloated. And when you do that, right away, you are setting us into a path of no return. That is the first point. The second point is that the Electoral Commissioners meeting with the Parliament of Ghana, she created the impression as though everything depended on the polling agents. She was shirking her responsibility. Yes, I believe that elections can only be rigged if you have a very weak polling agents. But you see, mind you, when you go to various polling stations, where polling agents are made to sit is totally far off from where electoral officers operate. So if there is something untoward, it's very difficult for them to even say, especially staffing of ballot. So for the EC chair to say that we of the Movement for Change are going to insist that our agents sit amongst the EC officials, because now you are putting more responsibilities on their shoulders. Now, she says they are going to recruit 210,000 people. She has the data of all those electoral officers or returning officers and so on and so forth. She has to make it public. Share it to all interested parties so that we go into. And I like the angle that you came in with, that people are just throwing their hands in the air and giving credence to the fact that the NPP is going to rig this election. For the NPP to be able to rig this election is to tell Ghanaians that we are weak.
Very.
And this is a party that is beatable any given day. In any case, after 32 years, they have had 16 years, and this has 16 years. It means they have lost several elections. Is that not the case?
Absolutely.
In fact, the current president, he took the party to opposition. The president that people are all of a sudden afraid of. I'm very surprised. Hey, human being born by the Creator, blood flowing through, you are afraid of your fellow human being. Hey! Look, I want to use this medium to call on all patriots, all Ghanaians, to be agents on that day. You don't have to be violent. You just have to be at the polls. It's the single most important day in our lives. Because that is the day that you are going to entrust your authority into the hands of an individual to take decisions on your behalf. So that day, you must see it as a sacred day and make sure the right thing is done. See, Jane Mensah must know that for her to be protected by 20 soldiers means things are not going well. Why is it that a woman is being protected. The last time she herself admitted that it's an uncomfortable situation, that everywhere she goes, soldiers are protecting her. Why is it that only you, as an electoral commissioner, you have soldiers following you? It means things are not going right.
Farijan drove alone.
He was sitting there and told me we'll take one bottle and then we discuss the electoral matters.
That's it. No problem.
Because he had nothing to hide.
Oh.
Just be a referee.
You say I can't be a referee.
You can't be a referee.
And you've put yourself in a very precarious situation.
And then she has lost the credibility. I was thinking that, in fact, this election, Afarija would have been called back. Sometimes you call back experienced people because of the nature of this election to be a co-chair.
Yeah.
So that it will bring some level of credibility into this whole election. But this woman thinks it's about spewing grammar. There is so much tension in this country. If you go to the Gondaland,
how much is it?
Have you heard them ban Abu Jinapo from Ghanaian?
Yeah, they banned Abu Jinapo, They banned him.
They are banned him from coming to their palace.
Yeah.
Because there is tension brewing between the Yagbawura and the Bupeura. And this matter started last year. In fact, they reported a lot of the letters to me. I called the chief tension minister and reported, hey, you got to sit up and work as Amawati as usual was misbehaving. You see where it has gotten to? So people are waiting for an opportunity
to pounce on people.
Yo.
As we speak, there is tension between Mambrusis and Gusasis. It's not dead. They are only waiting for an opportunity. The various land litigations going on, people are only waiting for an opportunity. Alavanyo and Nkonya. So James Benson must not be playing with this together with the IGP. The last time you saw how she answered the question of security. That is not my matter. So then we bring in the IGP. That this secret recruitment into the military and the police, if they think it will help them on election day, they must be revising their notes. Because the Ghanaian is not happy. Let me tell you, the only thing that will be constant in this election is change. There is nothing that will save the MPP. Take it from me. In fact, because of the way and manner they are behaving, they are only preparing the minds of Ghanaians to accept that they can rig. And they say it without any
That's the
shame.
point I'm making.
But how would they survive this?
No, that's the point I'm making.
You want to steal as a thief, and you are telling everyone that you will steal, and you think that people will be so gullible that on that day, you see,
We won't lock our doors.
But Solo, and you somebody. You remember back in the day?
Yes, they can report.
Write a letter and they'll tell you that on this day they are coming to steal.
Yeah, but some of them died in the process.
I agree with you.
Yes, because people were prepared for them.
But I agree with you.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that okay, let me go for this quick commercial break.
That said, it is important to note that all these figures mentioned are provisional. And
People see, oh, what is that?
Welcome back from that quick commercial break. We just had a little technical glitch, but I'm happy it's been resolved. So look, you were on the floor. I apologize to the viewers greatly. I'm so sorry. But let me come to you, Solo.
So the point is that, having been told that they will rig, why wouldn't we prepare ourselves on election day? What they have done is to put all the polling agents of MPP in danger. They have also succeeded in putting the lives of all the electoral officers in danger.
So the point I wanted to draw your attention to is that for somebody to repeatedly say this, it means that they have actually done it in the past and it succeeded.
No, they succeeded.
What it means is that in 2020,
yes,
they were able to rig.
Exactly.
And that is why they are confident that this year they can also rig.
But they say every day for the thief, one day for the master. Especially when you are bragging with the fact that you were able to rig the last time. How would you succeed this time around? When the governance of the country is in shambles. So they have really goofed. And I want them to continue. You know, every platform, especially when they give the microphone to me, that's what he says. You have 1 million ways of winning an election.
Yeah.
You have 1 million ways of winning an election.
Then there are 1 million ways of killing the cat.
Fantastic. That's what I'm saying. That
No, there are only 5.
they are 5. They are 5. Now they are discovering other ways.
The cat can also devise means of killing you.
That is the point.
Yes.
So it is just childish for them to think that they are not going to win the election through legitimate means, but through the back door. It doesn't work that way. And all of us are going to be on the field. It's all about vigilance. They believe that they have impoverished the Ghanaian. And so using money and giving it to our agents will be able to sway them to agree with them.
Another thing, maybe the political parties have their own strategy that they intend to use for the purpose of the upcoming elections.
Yes.
But when you have a president who has barefaced told us that he's not going to hand over to an opposition party, what does that tell you? You
know, when he said that, the moment he said that, tension started.
Are these statements not impeachable statements?
It is, but the point is that who is going to even start it? And his own statement was what was increasing the tension in the system. You saw what happened in Kuku.
Yeah, but at least start the process. You never know. Maybe some people in there don't want him out.
When they told him to sack his own finance minister, NPP MPs, they all checking out. You see, these are people. It's a fear of being poor. It's dictating the pace. Everybody is thinking about my stomach, selfishness. They are not thinking about the interests of this country. That this president should not be around. Especially when you are even talking about, say, handover. He has told you that he is no more the president. He checked out last year.
Yeah, he said.
So why must he still be at post? But he's still there. But the thing is that let us all go into election 2020. For me, I agree with Doc. Violence is not
the way.
All
right, thank you very much.
Is not the way.
You can still send your views and comments to us. Our WhatsApp number is very much active. Our Facebook platform is also very active, and on YouTube as well. Share your views with us. We will be very happy to read. But I think that this conversation should not just end on this show. We must carry it into our homes and into our schools and things like that. I think that we need a lot more education. People must be educated. The importance of their rights and the importance of the democracy that we're enjoying, particularly in these times, because that is the only way. Please, you want to make a quick point? No, proceed, and then we'll come to the last topic.
The greatest threat to democracy is not electoral violence.
No, it's not,
but the ineffectiveness of the law to deal with the electoral violence. That's all that I want to say. Kwame, I mean, IGP, I lauded the IGP. When he came out and said the police and other security agencies would be ready to deal with electoral violence and that the elections will be conducted in a very peaceful manner. That is fine. But I was expecting something from the IGP, from the Attorney General, from government, from any other relevant institution on the state of the prosecution of the killers, people in the previous elections. If we do not do anything till the election, it will constitute another window of impunity.
I mean, look, I agree that we said that we have disbanded the invisible forces and all the other forces.
Theoretically.
But the reality is, where are they?
They are there.
No. So that's a question that I intend to ask. Like, where are they?
They are there.
What has become of them?
We are talking macho.
Okay.
Whatever they want to do. Why?
All right.
Let's talk about something.
Okay. No, because me, I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
No, you should be.
I'm afraid.
We all should
because
be.
Look, so I will not. The only demonstration that I partook in, the demonstration that I partook in, was the demonstration that was organized in respect of disagreements relative to the conduct of the OWUSU West Wogon by-elections and the event thereafter. When that demonstration was organized, I partook in it. Because look, there are so many people in this country who do not really care about, NDC or MPP.
No.
But they care about the sanity
Of the system.
of the system.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would not sit down for anybody by reason of their wanton disregard for electoral processes to create mayhem. To come and create that mayhem for the mayhem to affect me and my family. I have nowhere else to go.
An innocent person.
I have nowhere else to go. I don't have a visa. There are some people who have 5 years US visa. They have 10 years. I don't have anywhere to go.
This is your country.
No, but you have. But I don't. No, I mean, even you, I'm sure you will stay.
You go and
I'll stay. I don't have anywhere else to go. The only place I can go is Elmina or Akabwe.
This is our Washington.
This is our Washington.
This is our New York. This is our Paris.
So we and the young people, please, Charlie, I can agree that you can belong to a political party, no problem.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But when it comes to these things, you must abhor it. You must abhor it.
Yeah, it's all poverty. If these people were working, you think they were?
But you think that during Nkrumah's time there was no poverty?
There was.
I think it was even in the extreme.
There's abject poverty.
But the people cared about, deeply about their country. That they were willing to even sacrifice themselves to safeguard the country. That's it. I mean, so we are in times where people really, and I think the Gen Zs must be very interested and active players in this whole democratic politics. But why? It's because of our leaders. But I keep telling them, and look, sometimes when I meet them, I advise them. I tell them that, look, you say you're not interested in politics. You say that I won't vote.
Yes.
But somebody will go and vote, and you will get a foolish leader.
Yes.
And that foolish leader will pass foolish laws.
Exactly.
And those foolish laws will affect you.
That is the point.
So you may think that family
I won't vote.
But somebody will go and vote.
You are not interested in politics.
And then a foolish person, look, I keep saying that one day we'll have an armed robber leaders.
Of course.
We are not careful. We will have some armed robber or some fraudster or somebody. But even now, Alex,
Yes.
why is the NDC saying that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama should not debate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? Are you afraid of something? Are you running away from something? Why? That's the next topic.
I think that it's not even an issue that should even arise for me. Why? Nana Addo, after Ayarikov, has not debated anybody again. People asked for debates. In the end, people went and did one-on-ones with interviewers and so on their policy, and Ghanaians voted. Why is there a need now for the debate? Why? My question is that, look, when even they speak, I find it interesting. I understand partially why, but it's wrong. Why isn't it a more interesting debate for Bawumia to debate Alan Chamantin? Is he not a presidential candidate?
Yes.
In the making?
Yes.
Well, I'm more interested in that debate. What's it called there? John Mahama says you do. We all know he said it, and that is it. The history of this debate has been curtailed because of Nana Addo's posture for debate throughout his tenure of presidency. In the last 2 campaigns, he has not debated anybody.
Yeah.
And is it IEA who would then put out a public statement that there's going to be a presidential debate?
Who are they?
And with 2 political parties, forgetting that there are other potential candidates, I believe PNC may be coming with Bernard Mona.
Yes.
I believe that Ayarikoff will be coming with his political party. Cheddar is already in this. So unless you are saying that you only want people who have got parliamentary seats, then you are going to... And we are not interested in that type of a debate anyway. If you want a proper debate, go and debate Alan Chairman. And you have many questions to answer, which you can't answer. And we don't want to embarrass our flag bearer. He's a statesman. But the way and manner in which Dr. Bawumia has been conducting himself, he's desperate. And we are not going to play into his desperation. And the IEA, from long, we have had an issue with the way to do this again. Why? Come and talk to us. Yes. Sit down with us. Ask. Do you know how many media houses have come and said, look, we are thinking of this, and we are in the dialogue. You have gone to publish because you are IEA. Publish. We are watching. That debate, as me, I'm not the final arbiter. This is something that John Mahama will look at. But I mean, if my opinion was asked, I would say, don't bother. Stay in your house and let's do our campaign. Sure. Don't worry with debates. Ghanaians know who you are and what you are. They also know who Bawumia is and what he is. The factor that maybe people have to hear on a presidential is Alan Chairman. Go and debate. If you are so interested in debate, go and debate Alan Chairman. Let us see that you are really serious. All right. And you see how you'll be exposed. All right. Do you understand? Yeah. So we are clear. He can't even answer our level questions. But Bawumia can't even debate me. Let alone John Mahama. He can't. Because when we put the things down, it will be a problem for him. I'll take only his statements. I will not even use anything. Just his own statements. You should explain them. We won't borrow any money. The money is in Ghana. You are borrowing. And you are borrowing this amount. So explain why. You understand? The currency. If your fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. So are you being exposed or not? These are the questions that they should be asking Dr. Bawumia. And these are statements he made. We are not talking about what Nana Addo has said. These are your statements. Look, debate is a desperate move because he thinks that because John is a nice guy, not a nice guy, and will not embarrass our president. Me, it's only going to be an embarrassment because he will be all over the place there, and because he knows not to speak truth, nobody can be checking some of those things there. Yeah. So he'll be saying all manner of things. Some woodious figures appear from all kinds of places, and nobody will be able to. No. Go and tell people.
All right. Thank you, Uncle Alex. Mr. Host, I'm regular viewer of Pan African television. Most times I like Solo's submission. Most times I like Solomon OWUSU submission. I like Solomon OWUSU submission all the time, and I wish he could be one of NDC's communications officer. And when NDC comes to power, he would be considered for ministerial position. From Jacob Letcher in Tema. Good morning to you, Mr. Host. Please, this Mr. Host, I don't like it. My name is Kwame. My name is Kwame. Kwame.
You are the host.
My name is Kwame.
Kwame host.
So if I call you Afafato,
why you have been calling me Afafato?
No, I call you Solo.
And call you Afafato.
That's a movement for change.
Did I accept?
But I mentioned your name anyway.
They have been calling me doctor on this program. Every day I'm denying it. I'm tired, but they are still calling me doctor. So what is this Mr. Host? As you host, tell them Mr. Host and be free.
All right,
You leave the scene.
Jamesa will get all wrong. We'll get it all wrong this time around. All strategies to rig the election in favor of the MPP will not work. Ghanaians will fight for Mother Ghana. I was just smiling when she appeared on the floor of Parliament to play games with the minds of the Ghanaian people and our legislature. Herself and deputies should start thinking right and straight. Ghana is bleeding and needs JM. They should learn from Papa Kwesindum. We all saw the numbers on the street last week. What at all is our crime, Madam Jamesa? Baka, try. I salute my boss, Dr. Alex Segbefia. Host, please tell Sulu that I still need him to join the NDC. Ghana will be good under JM. He has done it before. JM will not debate a loose talker like Bawumia. Isaac from Wager sent in this one. Thank you, Isaac. Good morning to you, Kwame. Are you aware that officers who were deployed for district assembly elections having been paid by the EC, no matter the Okay, no matter the hardship, VIP is going. No matter the hardship, VIP is going to win coming December 7, 2024 election. Hands down, we will not vote for former President John Mahama because his time there was more hardship than today. This is Kasimu from Tamale. Thank you, Kasimu, for your message this morning. Good morning. Tell Dr. Alex I need this number. Okay, Uncle Alex, we should say you're a doctor.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm not a doctor. Either medical or academic. But every day they call me. So I will correct it, but that is also not
so
my
ask
title.
yourself why they call you doctor. Maybe you should have been doctor. Dr. Mazuk, let me come to you, and then I'll end with solo.
All right.
I hear debate. Few minutes, because our time is up. But I know for you, you can particularize them in 3 bullet points and kill it.
Can I just say thank you to our host, Comrade Kwesi Pratt, for a fantastic.
Oh, I would have given you the last straw.
Okay,
so let me. No, because you organized the JEA Males lecture, so I'll give you the last straw. But Dr. Mazuk.
Partisanship over patriotism.
Yes, sir.
In our conduct of democratic politics, and that is that is seen in the debate saga. The pro-debaters, MPP, in this situation, takes it as if it is compulsory. It is not. The anti-debaters, NDC, also think that it is not necessary. It is necessary. Right? It is not compulsory, but it is necessary. And when you go to each camp, just because they are more partisan than patriotic, they look at the debate from the partisan lenses. To NDC, it is very necessary. To MPP, it is not compulsory. But if you take the debate out of context, you will be wrong. Look, former President John Mahama has every right to say that he will not debate. The debate cannot define him. If he debates, he will help us to make informed choices. If he thinks that his political strategy does not warrant the debate, that should not be a crime. No. That should not be a crime. He has every right to consider a lot of factors, a lot of things that will either tell him to debate or not. He has decided that it is not for him to debate. Let's respect his opinion. That is his will. But his supporters should not think that the debate is not necessary. It is very necessary. MPP, you have every right to call for the debate. But don't think that the debate is an executive instrument or a constitutional provision.
Or one of the manifesto promises.
One of the manifesto promises. Thank you. It is not. If you think that the debate is good for you, you can mount the debate, or you can call for the debate, or you can call any other opponent. Remember, ours is multi-party democracy. I agree that the 2 leading parties are the NDC and the MPP. But if you mean a well-intended debate, that should not be a matter of duopoly. It should rather be a matter.
That the debate will expose like Biden and you resign.
So in a nutshell, you run away. So in the my conclusion is that let's all see the debate as important and see it not as compulsory. And when it is necessary, let's all embrace it. But please, one last sentence. The organizer of the debate should not be IAA. It should be another institution.
Actually, I was actually going to come to that. Because somebody just said to me, he said, Jeremesa is equal to EC. Jeremesa is equal to IAA.
So my conclusion is
when you cross out General here, you get IEC.
Yeah.
So you get my conclusion. No, the conclusion is brilliant. Let me remind viewers that the book, Ghana's Historic Journey to Self-Government and Independence, authored by Dr. E.G.A. Don Arthur, is available for sale at the front desk of Pan-African Television here in Abilinkpe, Accra. So it sells for 1,500 Ghana cedis per copy. And so I want to encourage all our viewers to grab a copy of it. Solomon OWUSU has bought the first copy. Thank you. And Uncle Alex and Doc also are going to get the other 2 copies for us. But if you are watching us this morning and you want to get a copy, call 020 439 1395. 020 439-1395. Get a copy now. Solo.
Kwame, what are we debating?
Okay, let me give you a time
there is
nothing to debate.
We are not looking for a good debater for this country. We are looking for the one that will solve our problems. You understand? So, Dr. Bobby, must go and debate that young lady in Bono East. That young lady asks about the allowance. You understand? That he could not answer. He should go and then finish up with that young lady. Should go back to Ashanti region and address Obibini, that businessman that told him that you have collapsed our business.
To Central region.
Go to Central region.
The airport.
Airport. You have not settled that. Go back to all those areas to tell people one village, one dam. The Pualugu dam that you told the entire country that it's been done. Go back and settle all those matters for them. We are not interested. In any case, if you are looking for a debate, the IEA that was organized must rather debate Baumia. Let him bring its economic policies. You claim to be an economic institution. Check it and then give his verdict to him. This business of debate, always debate. We are serious.
All right. So on Friday, George Bao Muktari, spokesperson for former president and flag bearer for the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, issued a press statement in response to the IEA. Now, in the press statement, it says, Accra, Ghana, the Mahama 2024 campaign strongly condemns the recent announcement by the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA Ghana, regarding the presidential debate for the 2024 elections. It is completely unacceptable that the IEA would make such an announcement without engaging and/or informing the National Democratic Congress, one of the major political parties in Ghana. The Constitution of Ghana does not grant the IEA any authority to organize elections-related activities. The fact that the IEA has not shown the decency or respect to at least inform the NDC of its plans raises serious questions about its motives. The IEA is clearly acting as a front for the New Patriotic Party and seeks to manipulate the electoral process in favor of the ruling party. It is important to remind the IEA and the Ghanaian public that the NDC, led by our presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama and running mate Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyemang, has been engaging with the citizenry for many years. Mahama's online and offline conversations have targeted a wide range of audiences and focused on addressing the needs and concerns of the Ghanaian people. Our well-planned engagements with various sectors of society across the country have been and continue to be extremely beneficial to the people of Ghana. This being the case, we caution the IEA against using the NDC's name to promote its activities or their activities, as this is a blatant attempt to misrepresent our political party deliberately. Ghanaians should remain assured that the NDC's commitment to meaningful and respectful engagement with the people of Ghana is unwavering. We will continue to ensure that all Ghanaian voices are heard and their needs addressed. Signed, Joyce Bawa Muktari.
I agree with them 100%. In fact, they have shown gross disrespect to John Mahama.
Yes.
They have shown gross. It's not good at all. Why do you put the horse before the
you see, you know how
the cart before the horse?
You know how some of these institutions and even political parties behave. Sometimes when they feel like they would get mass opposition, they just put it out.
That's small matter.
Yeah, they just put it out.
People
so you are forced to.
You are not even informed.
No, so you are forced to. Alex, J.E.A. Mills,
you go and talk about hard.
J.E.A. Mills commemorative lecture. Run us through, and the book launch.
I just want to say, first of all, a big thank you to Comrade Kwesi Pratt for a fantastic delivery.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
That's my fantastic. That's my fantastic Olu. Fantastic Olu. Fantastic Olu.
It was a fantastic delivery and a recount of history and putting things in perspective. So our gratitude to him in the first instance. I'm the chair of the board, but there's a team that works, and in reality, that is the heartbeat of the heritage, and it is growing from strength to strength each year. It moves, and it's called the J.E.A. Mills Memorial Heritage, and each year our aim and aspiration is to make sure that the name of our leader, father, President Mills does not fade, simply because of the principles and values that he stood for. In fact, we need it in this country, and we must be telling people that, yes, you can be a good statesman. You don't have to amass wealth. You don't have to be seen as being corrupt. You don't have to be antagonistic towards your fellow man. But you must be firm, you must be strong, and you must ensure that the will of the people is always at the forefront of your... And so I am proud to even be, I'm humbled to be associated with such an organization for the simple reason that I have a lot of respect for the man, having worked under him as his deputy chief of staff for the 3.5 years before he left us when he was president, and even earlier than that. So I want to thank all of you who came and listened, those who were in their homes. We want to thank you for the purchase of the book. The book is all the statements that were made over the 10th anniversary celebration in every region. We took all the statements, and it's very interesting reading because it gives different perspectives of how people related and saw Professor Mills, and all of it is positive. So I would recommend the book to all and sundry, and it was launched on Friday, and anyone who needs, we will put out next week or by tomorrow. We'll give you all the details of how to make contact with us and to get a copy of the book, because I think it's an important archive like the one that has just been put. You just done out. So we'll bring it to you as well. Having said that, once again, kudos to both, and I must also give credit to our chairlady, Justice Sophia Kufu, who was splendid. And it was amazing because she also gave a totally different perspective of Professor Mills as her lecturer or her teacher, and how she also related to him. And her choice of words were fantastic, and she showed what she stood for. And her credentials, when they were read, people had to bow their head because she's holding serious paper behind her. And also, finally, to Professor Jampo, who did the book review. So, all told, from what we are hearing, we don't have to measure ourselves, but we are told that it was a successful event. We are happy with the outcome to date. And once again, also thanks to Pan-African and all the other media houses who covered it. You covered it live, and we are grateful to all those media houses who came and covered it live as well, and even some on radio. So thanks to the media, thanks to all. God bless us all.
All right, that was a very stupendous, well-organized event, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed it. I was on my way to go and act as a judge in a moot court at Pentecost University in Sotum. So I was watching when I was driving on YouTube, and then the views, Pan-African Television's YouTube page was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, so I mean, beautifully organized, and I like the interspersing between the event itself and also showing videos of Prof, his speeches, and also his comrades, people who gave accounts of how he conducted himself when he was in office, and even his interpersonal relationship with people when he was not in office, and all of that. I think that it was beautifully put together. Trust me. And at some point, I got very emotional, and I could see some people in the auditorium also get very emotional when the videos were playing, because of his demeanor. You know, when you see Prof and the way he talks and the way he listens. You know, it can only make you feel more melancholic, even if you went there in high spirits, right? And so I felt it, to be honest. And when I was driving, I actually felt it. I felt it. I think let me be honest, I teared up a little. Yeah. You know.
So why don't you appeal to the youth of this country to emulate the conduct of the professor?
I think that the greatest disservice is that we don't consistently put some of these things out. And I think that I'm going to make it a point that we put out, you know, some of the speeches and maybe some of the clips of both Kwame Nkrumah and Prof, and some of the wonderful leaders that we've had in this country, in the Champon, for instance, you know, so that at least it will give us some, it will teach us really, you know, about some of these leaders and the things they stood for, and how we can also use that.
Yes, a Champon, no.
Oh, I mean, some of the things the Champon did.
We're not that bad. I don't agree. Dictator.
All right, no problem.
No. But all I am saying is that, look, every objective Ghanaian, NDC or MPP, knows very well that Professor Mills stands as an icon of decency in our pursuit of democratic politics. I'm yet to record, I'm yet to hear any insulting remark made by the old professor.
I think this statement is corroborated by, I don't know whether his classmate or something, I mean, when he also retorted. When he was in primary, he never insulted anybody until, you know. I think it was his mate.
Decency. So let's promote him as a statesman, not as a member of a particular political tradition.
I agree with you.
Yes, and I think if we pursue that angle, definitely we'll do much more. I mean, it will be in the interest of the state, not in the interest of the people, because we need such people to sanitize democratic politics in this country.
The choice of the people we used was to actually give him a statement like
exactly.
We didn't want it to be a partisan
No, that was a
project.
Yes.
We are actually a non-aligned group.
Yes.
When it comes
and
to
it is good.
Yeah. So if you look at the
of course.
Everybody knows where Kesi Pratt comes from. Everybody knows the position of.
No, you did a very good job.
So it wasn't a case of we are promoting a statesman.
Yes.
And that's what we were doing.
Uncle, you did a very good job.
I think it was represented.
Well done, and Ghanaians should see it as such.
Absolutely.
You know, what you have done is one thing, and how Ghanaians are going to view it is another. And of course, when we are dealing with some politicians who cannot even see beyond the interests of their political parties. So when we have such opportunities, we need to talk to Ghanaians. And then we should not allow these politicians to to politicize the issue and render what has been done beautifully as something bad. I think Professor Mills stood for all of us, and perhaps will continues to stand, because he never dies.
All right.
He's like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, KOD. Ato Forsen has given the EC a good caution because the MPP is controlling the EC by packing it with card-bearing members. So we have to suspect the deal to rig the election. Stephen Ben Inwa sent in this one. So look, thank you for your time this morning. Thank you, Uncle Alexei, and thank you, Dr. Marzuk, for your time this morning. My name is Kwame OWUSU DANSO. Let me remind viewers again that the book that a copy of which has been sold to Solo, is on sale here at the front desk of Pan-African Television, written by Dr. E.G.A. Don Arthur. Talks about the historic journey of self-government and independence, Volume 1. I want to encourage all of you to get a copy. If you need a copy, call 020-439-1395. 020-439-1395 and call and get a copy. It's 1,500 Ghana cedis. You know, I know that the economy is hard, but you know, when you invest in knowledge, you reap the full benefit of it. So thank you very much. My name is Kwame OWUSU DANSO. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. Salute. Bye-bye.